Gauteng Education MEC Panyaza Lesufi has appealed for patience as placement SMSs for 2023's Grade 1 and 8 applications are in the process of being sent out. Now, the department received over 764,000 applications, the highest number since the inception of the online application system in 2016. Those who are unhappy with the department's placement choices will be allowed to lodge objection, which must be submitted within 7 days of receiving the offer. Right now, for an update, we're now joined via Zoom by the Gauteng Department of Education's spokesperson, Steve Mabona. Steve, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. I can imagine how busy some of your officials are with 764,000 applications received so far. So talk to us about what is happening currently now. What is the latest? Just how many as placement SMSs have you managed to send out to parents?
Good afternoon to all our viewers. Yes, indeed, our officials are busy. As you might have seen that we said we are starting today. Actually, by 12:01 this morning, SMSs were trickling out. We've seen the reaction from some parents, those that are saying, I've been placed at a school that it's not my choice. But our argument is that you have applied to that school. So we are confirming what you gave us. You said you want this school and we are giving you that school. It's a confirmation. And some are saying if we should have actually given them, more options to say they need to accept. But our argument is that if you are not closer to the school, chances are that you might not even get that offer. So what we are doing, those that have probably 2 offers or more, then they are given an opportunity to go in the system to accept the offer that is put on the table.
So out of the 764,000 learners that you've received application from, just give us a breakdown. How many of those are in Grade 1 and how many of those are in Grade 8? Because we do understand, just from your statement saying that, of course, this is the largest number that you've seen since 2016, since the inception of the system.
Yes, indeed, is the largest number of applications that we have received since inception in 2016. But when you look at the number of applicants, then it goes down to just over 358,000, which means that we have over 149,000 Grade 1 learners and just over 155,000 Grade 8 learners for us to place. So it's an indication that when you're looking at the applicants, you can see that there's probably around 30,000 of those applicants that we are still waiting to come at a later stage. In addition to that, there are those that did not give us the proof of address or verification of their address. We'll then have to entertain those from the 1st of December up until the 15th of December. So the numbers will change and we should be in a position to accommodate. But if you can't verify your address, then it becomes a challenge for us to place you because we don't know where you stay. And there are those that, happen to borrow addresses. They would have told you that the application has been rejected by the school because schools also do their due diligence. They do spot checks, they verify, they go to some of the addresses and they make sure that they are sure that the people stay there. So if they reject, then it means there's something that they don't believe. And then we'll have to be given that opportunity, come the 1st of December. And probably at a later stage, you must also consider those that have not applied at all.
You've also conceded that in the past, though, that your system has over the years experienced technical glitches, So talk to us about what are some of the systems that you've introduced this time around to ensure that you minimize those glitches as much as possible, because we know that come December, January, a lot of frustrated parents lining up outside schools complaining.
No, but they would not be complaining about glitches. They will be complaining about them not being placed at schools of their choice. them not being placed, the schools that they applied for or that they wanted. So you might have those that would have said, I've objected, I've since probably waiting for their response, and we will then be in a position to respond to them. We've passed the stage of glitches. We had just had a 15 minutes delay when we started with the process because of Google Maps, because of the searches that we were allowed to, at a go to entertain in our system. And that was increased, within a very short space of time. And moving forward, there were not glitches because you look at the numbers, over 764,000 applications that were successfully processed in the system. So it tells you that there were not glitches. Parents are happy, they can navigate in the system. The only challenge that we have what we call high pressure areas, where we have more applications than what we could afford in terms of capacity. And we'll be working very hard to make sure that we increase the number of classrooms, provide the funding to schools to build their classes, and make sure that we accommodate. But unfortunately, we will not be in a position to accommodate everyone that would have applied at the high pressure school.
I want us to revisit, that point that you're making about the high pressure school. But before I do that, just for the benefit of the parents who are watching, who are listening, who've applied and are waiting for that SMS, talk to us again. What is that window where they will receive that SMS? Are you releasing these numbers from today, in totality, or is there a system in place, like batches, for instance? When should they then start worrying if they don't receive an SMS, and what should they do thereafter?
No, we issue the SMSs incrementally as we go. We are starting today. Actually, we have already started, and we will end on the 30th of November. So it means that we'll continue with that process up until the end of November. You can start to panic from the 1st of December, probably. But all those that have applied, we will work tirelessly to make sure that all of them are placed before we entertain those that still need to verify their proof of addresses. So parents, they still also have an option to utilize their credentials and go in the system and check if probably they have space or not, because the status will indicate if there's space. If you are placed, it will say placed. And if you say placed, it means the learner is placed at that school that would have been mentioned, in the system.
Right, very quickly, Steve, you mentioned, that you've identified those high pressure schools that probably receive more applications than others. So where have you identified them exactly in terms of in the Gauteng province? And also, what are you doing? What are the measures that you are putting in place? You mentioned something about additional classrooms. I want you to expand a little bit on that.
Yes, we're giving them funding to build classes. We're giving them mobile units. And we've identified those areas. It's the Tshwane West. That's our problematic area. Johannesburg South, Mondio and Naturena, those areas. Ekurhuleni North, we have areas that are high pressure. And looking at the Ekurhuleni South, the Alberton area, that's where we have a challenge there, because there's a lot of development, and we have minimum schools or lesser. But we think that if we increase classes, we should be in a position to accommodate those that would have been outside the system.
Steve Mabona, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Really do appreciate it. Gauteng Department of Education spokesperson there. Of course, the department saying that it's received over 764,000 applications, the highest number since the inception of the online application system in 2016.